So it's a kind of a downer to the wedding, but we sorted it out as much as you can sort out things like that. And then we came back and we started married life. And guess what, guys? When they tell midwives that domestic violence starts when you get married or you get pregnant, it sure does. The person that he absolutely adored, which was me, and loved and thought I was brilliant, all of a sudden, it was the opposite. Every little thing that I did was criticised and picked on. And then if you dared turn it back round and say, well, hang on a minute, you're not perfect either, it's like as if they can't see that they've just said something really shit to you, and all they see is that you've said something shit back. It started where everything I did was just not good enough, or it's so cleverly done. I almost call it like a little bird pecking at you, because it's just little things. Like, you're eating and you're eating too much, and he'll be like, well, you say you don't want to be fat, so maybe don't eat the chocolate bar. But of course he could eat 20 chocolate bars and have a belly, because that's fine. That's absolutely fine. And even if I tell you these little things, they sound pathetic on their own, but when they're constant, you just end up depressed and anxious and feeling like you're a piece of shit, because lots of the things they tell you have a lot of truth in them. So they, you know, everybody's got bad parts or bad points. So the things that they tell you are actually true about yourself. They are your not so good points. So what I found happened once we were married was that I'd gone from being the love of his life, his everything, like he couldn't get enough of me and the children, to all of a sudden, all these rules, all these regulations, and everything I was doing was wrong. I remember at Christmas, I'd worked a long shift coming back, and he was flipping out about how much I'd spent at Christmas. My own money, because he wouldn't spend it, and having a go at me that everything was in the living room and hadn't done anything. I was like, I've just got back from a freaking shift. Like, it's Christmas. The drums can go away, like, tomorrow or the next day. And, like, these are all small things, but you go from being on this pedestal for them where you're, like, can't do anything wrong to, like, literally you're a piece of shit. So, like, the neighbour was... Don't get me wrong, I got on well with them in the end, but, like, the bloke was a bit of a pain in the neck. Like, if the boys kicked the balls over, and that was a pain. The boys were a pain with the balls. They did go over loads. But the one side, he used to hide them and just gather them up in a bag. So I'd be like, dick, why is he doing that? And instead of you would to your partner, yeah, I agree. He'd be like, well, don't you think you're the problem? Well, don't you think you're boys? And he just always did that. I remember we drove down for this holiday in Cornwall. I'd booked it. I'd paid for it. I'd paid for the food delivery. And we'd had this long car journey, and we got there, and this woman had parked in our spot, and she came stomping up, and she was like, I'm taking my food order first, because although I'm like, mine's late, so I was due mine, and I've got young children. I was like, yeah, it's fine, and so was I, right? But when I was taking the stuff into the house, I was like, she's a bit of a dick. Like, what's the matter with her? I've got young children as well. And instead of him saying, yeah, she was, he was like, there's nothing wrong with her. It's you. She's got young children. And I was like, yes, so have we. Like, so have we. Like, and don't get me wrong, like, I'd have no problem with her going first or even parking in my spot. But why couldn't she just be like, oh, I'm really sorry I'm in your spot, or can I please have the order first? But it was like that. I remember being depressed the whole trip after that, because I just remember thinking it was like as if he was flirting with her because she was quite attractive, and he was like doing anything to put me down. It's hard to explain. It's so hard to explain. But it was like all of a sudden you had nobody, like even your mate would be like, God, she was a bit of a dick. And that's it. You don't need to go any further with it. That's all you need to say to each other. Not expecting him to be a hero and go out there. Just like have those conversations. And it was just constant all the time, telling me how shit my kids were, telling me that I ate too much because I was moaning about my weight and stuff, telling me that I didn't earn enough, telling me what I'd ever done with my life, bigging up other people, always pitting his daughters against me as well. I just couldn't understand it.